Hello, in this video I'll be going over some handy tips in order to maximise your stay at Alton Towers. If you're somewhat an enthusiast like myself, we take pride in maximising the amount of rides we can get on in one visit. This may involve drawing up a plan or a rough schedule of what you would like to ride. As Alton Towers is the UK's biggest theme park, day-to-day visits at the park can get very busy. Alton Towers is home to 7 large rides, but what makes it difficult is how spread over the park these are. If you wanted to ride the Smiler and then Nemesis, be prepared to walk at least 15 minutes across the park to experience this. There is so many different ways to navigate around the park, but in this video I'll be discussing what works for me and my friends. Sadly, it is not as easy as just following this video's guide, as queue times can vary day to day and even hour to hour. When you first arrive at Alton Towers, the park doesn't open until 10 AM. This means that large queues may be present at the entrance. Most people in the queue have never been to Alton Towers before, and in doing so, head for the 3 of the 7 main rides, these being the Smiler, Wicker Man and Nemesis. Let's say the park has just opened. Most people normally run straight for the rides I mentioned above, but what I find useful is taking that extra 5 to 10 minutes to get to the back of the park. This being Forbidden Valley, home to Nemesis and Galactica. On most occasions where the park has just opened, the queue for both of these rides shouldn't be more than 20 minutes each. I find this more effective than joining the crowd of people that queue for the Smiler, making this queue over an hour straight away. Once you have ridden both Nemesis and Galactica, the next stop off I find useful is the Curse of Alton Manor. As the park has only been open for roughly 45 minutes at this point, I would assume the queue is no longer than 15 to 25 minutes. Next up is Wicker Man, a large wooden roller coaster with fire effects. You may find at this point that the queue is near to an hour, but at this point you have already rode 3 rides within your first hour on the park. If all goes to plan, you should get on Wicker Man between 11:15 and 11:45. Another thing to take into consideration is planning your lunchtime. Most people head to the restaurants between 1 PM and 2 PM. This will cut down some of the long queues whilst other riders are eating. At this point, I would suggest heading to either Gloomy Woods or X Sector whilst the queues are a little shorter. By this point, it is roughly 2 PM in the afternoon and you have ridden most of the big 7 at Alton Towers. This is where I would personally begin to grab food from one of the many restaurants situated around the park. From here on, you have a couple of hours left at the resort which you can use to get on rides that you haven't yet been on or want to ride again. What I tend to do at this point is do multiple rides of Hex, the Legend of the Towers, as this is clearly the best ride at the park. This pretty much wraps up today's video explaining how to combat queues at Alton Towers. Please drop a like on this video, and if I have missed anything, please comment down below. Until next time, I've been ThemeParkTaylor. Good night.